And then we've got perhaps more of a well-known, certainly a headline-grabbing place, and that's Arizona. And our viewers probably have heard some of what has come out of Arizona. So we thought we would start with Arizona and bring the topic here into Rhode Island. Maybe some lessons learned can apply here. So just starting off with Arizona, Carl, what is the current situation out there?
Well, Arizona, the state legislature passed a law that would attempt to resolve what the Arizona legislature feels are some of the issues that the federal immigration law, the federal immigration authorities are not addressing. Basically, the Arizona law is going to require police departments to inquire as to individuals' immigration status. It's going to require the local police to arrest individuals who they have reason to believe are in the United States illegally. It also would make it illegal for individuals in Arizona to work illegally. These are new laws in the sense that there are no federal laws presently that criminalize these activities that the Arizona law is attempting to criminalize. It is not illegal to work in the United States without permission. It's not a crime, it's a civil offense, and individuals who do that are subject to deportation proceedings. But the current state of things is that the law is being challenged and has been first, the Ninth Circuit, I believe, is the circuit in the western part of the country that rules on this. They have struck down the Arizona law.
In its entirety?
The four major provisions of this law, including the two that I mentioned, making it a crime to work in Arizona if you don't have the right papers, and the provision that requires the police, based on this suspicion that someone's in the United States illegally, to investigate and arrest. Yes, the law, the heart of the law has been stricken by the Ninth Circuit. That was appealed by the state of Arizona, and arguments were heard at the Supreme Court a couple of weeks ago, the end of April. So we're waiting to see what the Supreme Court is going to do with this case. Because a half a dozen other states have enacted similar laws, there's a lot of the country is sitting on the edge of their seats to basically wait and see what happens with the Supreme Court decision on this.
So as we are moving into June, that decision will be coming down.
And again, part of this, I think kind of the most controversial part of this is the part of the Arizona law that requires the police just to basically make a determination based on someone's appearance or how they're acting, to make a determination as to whether this individual is in the United States legally or not. I think most of us who have dealt with immigration law, we know that these are very, very complicated determinations, and a lot of the criticism of a law of this sort is the burden it's going to put on the police to try to make these determinations, to try to assess someone's immigration status here in Arizona, at least prima facie, based on how someone appears, whether someone appears to be in the United States illegally. What does that mean?
Yeah, one of the provisions that is being challenged criminalizes not having your immigration paperwork on you. So if you're a green card holder and you go to the grocery store and you don't have your green card on you and you get stopped, that's a crime now in Arizona, and that's another part of the law that has been challenged and well, we'll see what happens, and that's something that is also problematic, as Carl was saying, because of the complexities of immigration status. Not everyone that is allowed to remain in this country is here with a green card. There are hundreds of statuses which are quasi-legal statuses. For example, we have people under the TPS program, which is temporary protected status. We have people under deferred enforcement departure, DED. we have people under orders of supervision. We have people under prosecutorial discretion. There are a number of statuses that the immigration authorities will recognize and allow someone to remain here under. And police have no training, for the most part, in how these statuses are acquired and how long someone can be in this status. So it is very problematic.
And of course, the documents that are evidence of these statuses, because for each status there's a document, and to expect the police and to expend the resources that would be required to train the police to start enforcing these, what are now civil violations under federal law. And of course, there are all sorts of good reasons why these are federal matters as opposed to leaving each individual state to devise its own immigration policy, foreign policy considerations being the most obvious, consistency, uniformity. But just from a resource point of view, why would we want the police, the local police, to have these responsibilities, to train them in these very complex areas of civil law? I think to most people who think about this for just a short amount of time really doesn't make much sense. And this is why so many of the police chiefs and so many of the larger communities have come out against these kind of local initiatives that attempt to deputize, for lack of a better word, the local police departments to be enforcing federal immigration law. It's too complicated. The costs in terms of alienating communities, because again, in a lot of the larger cities, you have the larger immigrant populations. The effect of these laws is to create a subclass of people. It's making people afraid of the police. The police, of course, don't want that. They want people to be comfortable reporting crimes, whether they're victims of crimes or whether they're witnesses to crimes. So this is why the police chiefs associations in many of these communities have come out and said, we don't want this responsibility. But yet state legislatures, many times for political reasons, are feeling the need to step up and enact these laws, stepping into areas that perhaps they really shouldn't be involved in, to make it look as if they're doing something to resolve this problem that, again, as this immigration situation is presented as a problem, to try to resolve this problem.